Kioma was 22 when she married Emeka, young, glowing. So in love she couldn't see the storm hiding behind his smile. Emeka was handsome, tall, the kind of man your aunties pointed at and said, that one will take care of you. But aunties don't always know everything. The first year was sweet. Then the second year, Kioma gave birth, a girl. Emeka held the baby for exactly 3 seconds, put her down, walked out of the hospital room without a word. Kioma told herself, he's just tired. She was wrong. The second pregnancy, another girl. This time, Emeka didn't even come to the hospital until the next day. You and your daughters, he said, looking at the baby, like she had done something wrong just by being born. Kioma's heart cracked, but she stayed quiet. She loved this man. She had promised God. She had promised family. Third pregnancy twins. Both girls. That was the day everything changed. Emeka came home, looked at the two small faces wrapped in blankets, and said the words Kioma would never forget. 4 daughters, 4 useless mouths. What kind of woman are you? Then came the beatings. Not every day at first, just enough to remind her who had the power in that house. The name calling started too. Barren woman, even though she had 4 children. Failure, even though she cooked, cleaned, prayed, and loved with everything she had. He stopped bringing money for food, not occasionally, completely. You gave me daughters. Let them feed themselves. Let them go hustle. Or you go hustle, you are their mother. 4 little girls, the youngest still in diapers, and their father had simply decided they were not his responsibility. Kioma would wake up at 5 a.m. to sell akara by the roadside before the children woke up. She would come home, cook with whatever little she made, pack lunch for school, and smile so her daughters would not see the war happening inside her chest. She smiled so they wouldn't be afraid. She stayed strong so they wouldn't feel unloved. But at night, when the house was quiet and the children were sleeping,
God, what did I do wrong?
But one evening, as she was washing plates, she heard Emeka on the phone. His voice was low, careful, like someone who did not want to be heard.
I
She
can't
stopped
talk
moving.
now.
She barely breathed.
She doesn't know yet. It's over.
Chioma did not confront him that night. She lay beside him in bed. This man she had built a life with. This man she had pushed 4 daughters into the world for. And she stared at the ceiling in silence because deep down, she already knew. She had seen the signs, the late nights, the new perfume that was not hers, the phone that was always face down. She had seen it all and chosen to believe her own lies because the truth was too heavy. 3 months later, Emeka called a family meeting. He sat down, he cleared his throat, and with the calm of a man who felt no shame,
I have taken another wife. She's carrying my child, a son. This woman couldn't give me a son. Chioma, wait for your co-wife.
Kioma sat still. She did not cry. She did not scream. She did not faint like they do in movies. She just sat there, quiet, while her 4 daughters, aged 8, 6, 4, and 4, looked at their father with confused little eyes. The eldest, Adais, reached over and held her mother's hand, 8 years old, and already she understood more than she should have. The second wife moved in. Her name was Blessing, young, loud, and very sure of herself. She walked into that compound like she owned it, because in her mind she did. She had what Kioma didn't. She had Emeka's attention, his money, his softness, all the things Kioma used to have. Now the food money that never came to Kioma, it went to Blessing.
Hey, mama girls, I beg, leave this kitchen. My son no need disturbance. Why not come here, sef? 4 daughters, no son.
Kitchen, new clothes, new furniture in the second room. Emeka singing in the morning again, something Kioma hadn't heard in years, and Kioma's daughters would watch all of this through wide, quiet eyes. They saw everything. Children always do. Then Blessing gave birth. The whole compound held its breath. Emeka paced outside the room like a man whose entire life depended on this one moment. The baby came. The nurse stepped out. Congratulations, it's a girl. The silence that followed was the loudest thing Kioma had ever heard. She was in her kitchen when she heard it, that silence, and God forgive her because she was a good woman. But something in her chest felt like justice. 1 year passed. Blessing got pregnant again. Another girl. Now Emeka had 6 daughters and 0 sons. And Blessing, who had come in so full of confidence, was now receiving the same silence, the same cold shoulders, the same withholding. The monster did not change. It just found a new victim. Kioma watched all of this from her side of the compound. She watched Blessing cry. She watched Emeka rage. She watched her own daughters grow, quiet, observant, and burning with something she could not yet name. Then one day, her eldest daughter Adaeze, now 14, sat beside her and said something that changed everything.
Mama, I have a plan, but you have to trust me.
Kioma looked at this girl, this child she had protected and loved through every storm, and for the first time in years, she felt hope. Years passed, and those 6 daughters, they grew. Adaeze, the eldest, got a scholarship, left the compound with one bag, and came back years later with a degree and a job that paid more than their father had ever earned in his life. The twins started a small business selling fabric. What began as a table in the market became a shop, then 2 shops, then a warehouse. The others followed, each one more determined than the last, because growing up watching their mother suffer had done something to them. It had not broken them, it had built them. They bought Eyoma a house, not an apartment, a house, with a gate, with a garden, with a kitchen that was always full. They bought her new clothes and told her, "Mama, you will never sell akara again unless you want to." Kioma stood in the middle of her new living room and wept, not from pain this time, from joy so big her body didn't know what to do with it. And Emeka grew old in that compound. Blessing had left him, quietly packed her 2 daughters and disappeared one morning while he was sleeping. Left a note that said simply, "I deserve better." Now it was just Emeka, alone, in a house that used to be full of the women he had treated like burdens. He heard about Kioma's new house through the village. He heard about the daughter's success through relatives who could not hide their amazement. And one evening, he appeared at Kioma's gate, old now, smaller somehow, like life had pressed him down. "Kioma, I made mistakes." She looked at him from the other side of the gate. This man who had beaten her, starved her children, replaced her, humiliated her in front of family. She looked at him for a long, long moment. Then she said, "Yes, you did." And she turned around and walked back into her house. She did not slam the gate. She did not curse him. She did not beg him or forgive him on command. She simply chose herself, the way she should have been choosing herself all along. Her daughters were waiting for her inside. Adaeze had cooked. The twins had brought wine. The younger ones were laughing at something on TV. Kioma walked in, sat down, and looked around at the 6 faces, the 6 girls who the world had told their father were worthless. And she smiled, the daughters of gold, every single one of them.
Mommy, where do you want to go tonight? Don't feel afraid. No one here to beat you.
Leave my girls.